Well, good morning. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, the 30th of October. We have one more day, and then we have Halloween. On a Saturday, it's All Saints Day, and then Sunday is worship, and we're into November. And then we have about 3 weeks in November, and then the crunch happens. Thanksgiving to Christmas is the crunch. Thank you for joining me this morning. I pray you're having a great day. The blessings of the Lord be upon you. Yesterday was a All Saints Day service at our chapel, and that was a fun chapel event. And I appreciated the middle school kids doing that. It was really, really wonderful. They enacted a few things. It was good. Very, very much enjoyed that. I enjoy going to chapel. And by the way, you're all welcome to join us for chapel. It is fun to watch little kids up on stage telling a Bible story. It's just really, really quite wonderful. I get to do chapel once a month, and our chapel theme this year is whatever is pure, whatever is excellent, whatever is true. Think about these things. Think about these things. We have a song to sing about it. Anyway, let me get out of here. So you're welcome to join us anytime. We are on Thursday. We will not meet on Friday or Saturday, Sunday's church, and we'll be back again together on Monday. And as far as birthdays go, we have 2 birthdays to recognize. Today is Jim Walls. Happy birthday, Jim. And Alan Levine is on Halloween. Happy birthday, Alan. May you both have blessed days on your birthday, on your special birthday. All right. Let's go ahead and get into our study. We are in Numbers chapter 11, and we talked about the trumpets and how when the trumpet sounds, the people go out. Well, we might see a trumpet sound at some point. I don't know if we'll hear a trumpet sound. Anyway, we're going to get into another chapter, well, the same chapter 11, but in a whole nother story. So let's just start reading, see what happens. This is, I did not do that. Sorry, sometimes I forget to do this. Let's try that. All right. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again, the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Also the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna." My friends, this is the metaphor for the human condition. They complained about not having food, and every day God brings them manna. And they are able to eat their fill of manna. Manna provides all the nutrition that they could ever possibly want, and it sustains their life, but it's not enough. They remembered the meat and the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and all the other things they had in Egypt. Now, the thing is that it is true that variety is the spice of life. But is this something that you want, or is it something that you need? Is it something that without it you will die, or is it just something that without it it's not going to be as wonderful in your life? The reason why I bring this up is because if you remember Abraham Maslow, he had the hierarchy of needs. And the hierarchy of needs was, first of all, you need food, shelter, water, clothing. You've got to have the basic necessities. And then you move up this pyramid to where you get to the very top, which is self-actualization. But if you really, really, really study the pyramid, and look at it, all you really, really, really need in life is food, clothing, water, shelter. That's it. That's really all you need. Everything else is something that makes your life more enjoyable. It provides more variety in your life, provides other things. And the fact is, they have each other. We're highly relational creatures. Relationships are a million times more important than anything else that you could, the cucumbers or leeks or melons. And they basically have everything they want. They just want more. And this is the metaphor for the human condition. We always want more. I've often wondered, because we have so much more today. We have, in the last 100 years, we've gone from, basically the beginning of the automobile revolution, the beginning of the airplane revolution, the beginning of the industrial revolution, the beginning of the internet age. Now we're in the artificial intelligence age. Each one of these things were massive, massive improvements to the human condition. And I remember which economist said in I think it was Keynes, who said in the 1930s that because of the Industrial Revolution, people would only work maybe one day a week. But there's a couple problems with that. One is people enjoy work. Work is not, for as much as we complain about work, it does provide a sense of stability, a sense of self-worth. I can't even imagine how difficult it would be to sit around with nothing to do all day and actually trying to search, what can I do today to be beneficial to the world? I personally don't know what that would look like, and if I would even like it. I'm pretty sure I would hate it. So that's the first problem. And the second problem is that the humans always want more. So as these inventions happen, humans want these inventions. You can live your whole entire life without an iPhone, and yet you want it. You can live your whole entire life without a car. It'd be hard, and you'd have to live in a place, in a location where you could walk everywhere. And some people actually do live this way. But here in Vail, it'd be very, very difficult to operate without a car. Although I could walk. The two places I go are to work and to the local food store, and I can actually walk to both of those. So I could actually live without a car. I couldn't do my job without a car, but I could live without a car. All of these things. As artificial intelligence increases, the biggest question is going to be, what will humans do when we no longer have to do farming or labor or build homes or some of the things that I'm pretty sure that robots will be able to do for us? And the answer is, we don't know, but there will always be something that we will always want more, period. It will never be to a point where humans are completely taken out of the equation. We will always want something. And it'll just be interesting to see what that something turns out to be. And it is true that robots will be able to do pretty much everything, but they won't be able to do 100% of everything. It'll be 95% of everything, or 90% of, it'll start out at 1% and then it'll boost up. But robots will never, ever be able to prevent humans from not having to do at least something in their life. So the fact is that if we could go back to a point where we didn't have to work as hard and we earn less money, but we have less things, are we willing to do it? And the answer is no. Humans just are incapable of doing this. So whether or not you live a little bit underneath your means or a little bit overneath your, over your means, you absolutely are completely able to change your behavior and lifestyle to have less things, but we just aren't capable of doing it. That's the really, really human condition. And it goes all the way back here to the beginning, where the people have manna delivered to them by Uber every day, every morning, right? The Uber driver comes and delivers manna to the people, and they're not happy because they want more. They want meat. They want cucumbers, leeks, vegetables, whatever it is. They will always want more. It's the human condition. The other thing about manna, just as a side note, is I wonder if it had all the nutrition that a human needs. And my understanding is it did, because there are two amino acids that are apparently very, very challenging to get if your diet is completely vegetarian. So you have to have supplements to do that. But back then they didn't have supplements. So my guess is that the manna did provide all the things, and they could have survived completely on manna. They don't need meat; they just want the taste of meat. We've lost our appetite. We never eat. I mean, can you imagine Moses? It's like, just give me a break. God's doing so much for you. Why are you complaining? But this is the human condition. God does do so much for us. Why are we complaining? We're actually going to start a series on Sunday that's called The Way of Gratitude. And we're going to talk about how we always focus on the things we don't have, and we never focus on the abundance of things that we do have. It's the human condition. This will be a fun series. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Verse 7. The manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people went around gathering it and then ground it in a hand mill or crushed it in a mortar. They cooked it in a pot or made it into loaves, and it tasted something like made with olive oil. When the dew settled on the camp at night, the manna also came down. So this isn't just some random thing. It's a pretty tasty thing. Olive oil always makes everything taste better. So I think this is good when it says taste something made with olive oil. I think that's, to me, what I think is a fresh loaf of bread that comes out of the oven and you smother it with butter. And I don't know about you, and maybe you're gluten intolerant, which I apologize horribly for, because a freshly baked slice of bread with butter on it. We don't like this. I want something else. I mean, you're getting the pinnacle of food and you want something more. I was wondering what coriander seed was. I think I looked this up. Let me look and see. This is coriander seed. I don't know if I've ever cooked with coriander seed. It's a staple seasoning in the Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisines. In India, coriander seed is briefly pan roasted and eaten whole as a snack known as duna dai. The seeds are also dry roasted to release aroma and flavor before it is ground and added to curries and other foods. Now, they weren't getting coriander seed. What they were getting is something that looks like, when you looked at it, it looked like coriander seed. But that's what coriander seed is. It actually looks quite tasty. I wonder if I could get coriander seed and bake it in a pan and just snack on it. I wonder what that would be like. We don't have much of that in our culture. Oh, excuse me. All right. Almost sounds like oatmeal. They cooked it in a pot. They cooked it in a stew, but still not enough. Verse 10. Moses heard the people of every family wailing at the entrance to their tents. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, "Why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you, that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms as a nurse carries an infant, to the land you promised an oath to their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, 'Give me meat to eat.' I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me. If I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin." And what Moses is talking about here really is the burden of leadership. God placed Moses in a position of leadership, and that means he has to lead the people. He has to encourage the people. He says, this is the direction we're going. This is where the Lord's told us to go. We're following God's lead here. All these things, but there will always be people who complain in any leadership position. And Moses is feeling the pain because all this, there's just an uprising of unrest that's happening. It happens to the best of leaders. And Moses is no different. There's Teddy Roosevelt was a leader, president of the United States, and once wrote a little brief thing that said the man in the arena. And basically he says that blessed is the man who actually takes on the leadership role. He's the man in the arena. And unless you've served in the arena, you have no idea how difficult it can be to be the president of the United States. And this is, no truer words were ever spoken. I've never been the president of the United States. I would never want to be president of the United States because the amount of leadership that's required at that position is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And according to Teddy Roosevelt, it's a very encouraging thing to say for people who are in leadership, companies or whatever, because unless you have actually been placed in the role where you are the one in charge of the organization, and the vast majority of people have never been put in that type of leadership position. I mean, it's only 5 to 10% of the people who really understand the burden of leadership. It's lonely at the top. If you've talked to anybody who's in a leadership position, it's very, very few people understand the burden that goes on with that. You get a taste of it by running your household, by having kids, by trying to nurture and manage your household. And if you can manage your household well, then I think you're a good candidate for leadership, in other areas. And Moses is at the top of a nation of 1 million people. And no matter if it's good or bad, he's the buck stops with him. And he is feeling the burden of leadership. And so he cries out to God. Why does he cry out to God? Because God placed him there. God said, at the burning bush, way back, Moses paused at the burning bush and God spoke to him. And I can't even imagine how many times in Moses's life he's like, why did I stop by that stupid burning bush? My life would have been so much better if I'd have just stayed in slavery in Egypt and was with the people in Egypt or in Midian or whatever. Because there were many times, as you see in Moses' life, where the burden of leadership almost caused him to break. And I think this is one of them. So he complains. He goes to God and says, this is just too much. Why are you doing this? But God's a compassionate God. This is what he said. The Lord said to Moses, verse 16, bring me 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people. Have them come to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you, so that you will not have to carry it alone. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat, we were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. And you will not eat it just for 1 day, or 2 days, or 5 days, or 10, or 20 days, but for a whole month until it comes out of your nostrils, and you loathe it, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? So this is the I don't know if you want to punish it, but I don't know if you call it a punishment. You want meat? Okay, fine. If you think your whole life is meat, I will give you meat. It'd be so much meat you won't be able to eat it. It'll be coming out of your nostrils. I just love this. You think that the grass is greener on the other side. Okay, I'll give you so much grass that comes out of your nostrils, and you're going to hate it because it's not about the variety. It's about you and your trust in me as to whether or not I will sustain you. And I have sustained you. And I don't know why you're complaining. You're complaining because you want more, because the human condition wants more. I'm going to break your addiction to more by providing so much that that you're sick of it. I think that if we could just be content with what we have, it doesn't mean that we can't pursue other things and enjoy other things and even grow other things. It's just that, and this, if you've ever listened to like a Dave Ramsey or gone through some sort of financial investing type of thing, the human condition is that we always want more. And if we could simply be content with less, our lives would be so much easier, so much easier. I think that's why God put in the commandment, do not covet. Because when you look at your neighbor and you start to envy what your neighbor has, that's where it all falls apart. Because you will always find a neighbor that has more than you, and you will always find a neighbor that has less than you. And so you're trying to figure out where your pecking order is in your neighbors. And the fact is, don't compare yourself to your neighbors. Compare yourself to what has God given me? Where is my blessings? Let's focus on those first. And then everything else will fall into place. It's what Jesus said in Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. Moses brings in the 70 elders, and God says, you want meat? I'm going to give you meat till you're going to be sick of meat. Verse 21, but Moses said, here I am among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I will give them meat to eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them? The Lord answered Moses, is the Lord's arm too short? Now you will see whether or not I say will come true for you. So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He brought together the 70 of the elders and had them stand around the tent. Then the Lord came down in a cloud and spoke with them, and he took some of the power of the Spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 elders. And when the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but did not do so again. So God takes some of the leadership mantle off of Moses. God can see that it's too much for Moses. And so he brings forth other leaders, and he puts a mantle of leadership on them. They prophesy, they see God and his work and his blessing in his hand. And this is, if leadership gets too much, then push the leadership down to other people. This is the lesson that Moses has to learn over and over and over again. He doesn't have to be alone in this. He's got 70 elders. Bring them into the circle. Help, have them help in the leadership role. You can't do it all, Moses. You simply can't. Nobody can. Of course, Moses questions God, how are you going to bring so much meat? It's impossible. Man. Yeah, I want to get into the whole quail thing, but we've got to get to another story before we get to the quail thing. So I think we'll stop here and get into I'm going to write this down, verse 26, when we meet again. And we'll talk about the two guys that don't come, and then we'll get into the quail story. And then we'll finish this whole incident that's happening with Moses. All right, let's pray. Gracious God, thank you for the blessings of this day, and pray that you keep us safe over the weekend till we get back together again. In your name, amen. All right, thank you for joining me on. Didn't God also send quail? Or is this later in the story? Yes. Well, he did it, if you'll remember, in Exodus, we saw a lot of this before. Not all of this is all the right timeline. So if this sounds familiar, it's because we saw it in Exodus. All right. Philippians 4:8. Yeah. Whatever is, I'm getting a mind blank right now, but yes, Philippians 4:8. Oh, coriander seed becomes cilantro. I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. You learn something new every day. I don't know what the purpose of cilantro is anyway, so I guess it's tasty for people who like cilantro. It's a nice herb to add to food, I guess. All right. Hey, thank you for joining me, and hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Take care. Bye.